The city, wide open roads, towering skyscrapers, and brilliant lights that never go out. But wait, there are still cities in this world that will leave you utterly amazed. These places exist as a challenge to every law of survival. Some places are only a few dozen meters wide, cramped between two vertical rock walls. An entire town might be contained within a single building. And there are also places where you are not permitted to go, even unto death. Today, join me as we embark on a journey to discover the world's most bizarre and unbelievable cities. A place where reality surpasses even the wildest of human imaginations. If there is a city that takes your breath away with just a single photo, it must undoubtedly be Yangshuo. This place is called the world's thinnest city, not as an exaggeration, but because of its astonishing reality. Yangshan nestles snugly within a narrow valley, bisected by a rushing river that gleams like a silver blade. At its narrowest point, this city is only about 30 meters wide, just enough to fit a few rows of houses side by side. And that is also the only path of survival, one that is inextricably linked to the lives of tens of thousands of people. Just imagine, you wake up, step outside, and with just one step you can immediately touch the sheer cliff face or the rushing stream. There was no town square, no park, nor any wide, open streets. The houses here stand side by side, rising along the mountainside and clinging tightly to each narrow plot of land. The gong table hung suspended right above the rushing river, while the alleyways were so narrow that they barely allowed two people walking in opposite directions to pass each other. Construction in Zhangjian is not merely a technique, it is the art of survival. Living in this city, you need to have a truly strong heart. Every rainy season, the river water rises to a frightening level. And just one major flood could submerge this entire narrow strip of land beneath the murky waters. But instead of leaving their homeland, the people of Zhangjian resolutely stayed and faced the challenge. They decorated their homes with vibrantly colored bedsheets as a quiet affirmation. We are here, and we will not back down. The traffic in Tianjin is also a marvel in its own right. The only road running through the city winds between the river's edge and the foot of the mountain, just wide enough for two lanes of traffic to squeeze past each other. To traverse treacherous mountain paths, one must often pass through deep, pitch-dark caves piercing the heart of the mountains. For an outsider, every time the motorbike takes a sharp turn or avoids an oncoming vehicle, it's a breathless and heart-pounding experience. But for the indigenous people, it's just a part of their daily life. Despite facing harsh weather conditions, Tianjin possesses an irresistible charm for exploration enthusiasts. From above, the city resembled a slender thread stretched across the deep green valley. That feeling was both strange and contradictory, so fragile it was heartbreaking. As if a mere heavy sigh from Tainian would be enough to make Zhangjian vanish into thin air. But Zhangjian endures, having withstood all the trials of time. The locals here are accustomed to the sound of wind whistling through the mountain passes and the constant, thunderous rush of water flowing day and night. With torrential rains and scorching heat, they lived, loved, and built a home together on a land that seemed incapable of sustaining life. Jiangtan is not merely a city, it is a powerful testament in stone and flesh to humanity's will to survive. Even in the harshest of places, humans can survive and endure. That is an undeniable testament. To nurture and illuminate dreams, even upon a mere strip of land as slender as a thread on the edge of an abyss. Trungcan, a city with the breath of the future. Located in southwest China, this city is not only a bustling metropolis but also resembles a labyrinth with its intricate and complex network of overpasses and tunnels. The electric train and the skyscrapers stacked upon each other look like giant Lego blocks. From the hilltop, Trungcan appeared like a colossal creature in constant motion. Long bridges stretch across wide rivers, while trams weave their way through apartment complexes. And the dense, bustling streets are speeding by, as if this city is racing against time itself. You can stand on any street, look up, and see 5 or 6 overlapping layers of traffic stacked right above your head. A scene both majestic and surreal, as if from a dream. One of the most iconic images of Chongqing is the Liziba building, where the monorail line runs straight through the 6th to 8th floors of this residential complex. For travelers, it was a moment so incredible it was hard to believe. But for the local residents, the rumbling sound of the train passing through the house has become an indispensable part of daily life. The massive scale of Chongqing is further illustrated by its staggering statistics. This metropolitan area has a population of nearly 40 million people, which is even larger than that of many countries, and spans an area equivalent to the size of Austria. People often joke that in Chongqing, if you get lost and manage to find your way out within the same day, you're already very lucky. Not only expanding in scale, Chongqing is also reaching upward in its development. Skyscrapers rose up densely packed, like giant needles piercing the sky. Some buildings have dedicated parking floors where cars are lifted by giant lifts and slotted into empty bays like a puzzle game. The bridges here are equally impressive. Chongqing is home to the world's largest arch bridge, and yet, strangely, among hundreds of connecting spans, it nearly disappears, blending into the massive concrete roadway. However, amidst the modern pace of life and all that chaos, Chongqing still preserved for himself those rare, lyrical moments. As night falls, the warm golden lights reflect upon the waters of the Ali and Yangtze rivers, transforming the city into a shimmering and magical painting. The bustling night markets, filled with the distinctive spicy aroma of Chongqing hot pot, can win over even the most discerning of food lovers. Chongqing is not merely a city, but a distinct universe, where reality and the future converge, where humanity, nature, machinery, and concrete meld into a chaotic yet wondrous symphony. Once you set foot here, you'll find it hard to forget its pulsating rhythm, its fierce vitality, and its uncanny beauty, as if shaken loose from the wildest dreams of the future. Wichita, the town where the entire community lives together under one roof. Have you ever imagined a town where everyone, from police officers and teachers to doctors and plumbers, are all neighbors living together in the same building? This isn't a scene from a science fiction film. This is Whittier, a peculiar town in the icy wilderness of Alaska, where nearly all the residents live together under a single roof. Beedrith Tower, a stark 14-story block of concrete cloaked in a cold gray hue, stood imposingly amidst the untamed wilderness. But inside, it contains an entire miniature world complete with residential apartments, grocery stores, schools, a police station, and even a church. At Wikia, you can be born, grow up, go to school, work, shop, get married, and live out your entire life within that very building, almost without ever needing to step outside. This miraculous existence is the result of an extremely harsh climate. In winter, the town was buried under a thick blanket of snow, with winds so fierce they could knock over a full-grown adult. The sun disappeared for months on end, leaving the sky overcast and the winter nights long and bitterly cold. In such a peculiar world, gathering everything in one place is not merely a matter of convenience, it is the only way to survive. However, life at Birch Tower was anything but dull. Conversely, this very closeness has fostered a tightly knit community rarely found elsewhere. Neighbors in Wikia don't stop at casual greetings. They genuinely care for and look after one another with sincere kindness. When a child falls in the hallway, many parents will immediately rush over to help them up. An elderly person in need will always have neighbors ready to help. At Wikia, people don't merely live next to each other. They truly live with each other, bonded together as a community. The journey to Wikia itself is a challenge that is far from easy. Despite passengers having to travel through a nearly 4 kilometers long tunnel cutting straight through the mountain's core, it only opens in alternating one-way directions. Stepping through the wooden gate felt like entering another world, a place where time moved slowly. The space stood completely detached from the bustling rhythm of life outside, and the presence of people here felt nothing short of miraculous. The population of Wikia is just over 200 people, yet their story has transcended borders to become a powerful global symbol of the strength of community spirit. In a harsh environment where nature shows little mercy to life, humans still find ways to warm one another. Not only through the warmth of neighboring apartments, but also through genuine sincerity and unwavering perseverance. Wikia is not merely a small town. It is a true communal home where the entire community leans on and bonds with one another to endure the long, seemingly endless winters and together write the remarkable story of survival in this frozen land. Seddon, where boats became the primary means of transportation, replacing the roads. Tucked away in the fertile Dutch lowlands, Seddon is a village of remarkable tranquility. There wasn't a single proper paved road. Instead, the entire village is a labyrinth of crystal-clear small canals. Graceful wooden bridges and cozy thatched cottages nestle amidst gardens brimming with vibrant flowers. From the very first moment I set foot in Seddon, you'll realize this place operates at a completely different rhythm. No more blaring car horns, no more bustling crowds rushing about. Only the rhythmic sound of oars dipping into the water and the gentle lapping of waves against the boat's hull could be heard. And the birdsong echoed through the dense rows of banyan trees. The small boat is the primary means of transportation. And small cars, small boats, students used to take their children to school. Going to the market or visiting friends has become a familiar image, deeply ingrained in the daily life of the local people. The history of Seddon dates back to the 13th century, when migrants came to cultivate the new land and dug the canals. Transporting that staircase at the time was an immensely precious undertaking. Those rows of young trees gradually became the lifeblood. That river has nurtured the lives of countless generations of inhabitants for centuries. Despite today's technology having made remarkable advancements, Seddon has maintained a gentle, peaceful lifestyle in harmony with nature. In spring and summer, Seddon adorns itself with a vibrant coat of countless flowers. From the hedges, daffodils and chrysanthemums bloomed in profusion beside the ancient thatched houses. Sunlight reflected off the canal, shimmering. From above, the village appeared like a giant painting, with shimmering threads being the meandering canals, amidst a garden overflowing with vibrant colors. However, this beauty is not only present during the sunny season. When winter arrives, the canals in Seddon freeze over, transforming the area into an entirely different landscape. The ice skating rink became incredibly vast. Children and adults skate together from house to house. Instead of using boats, use roller skates. Beneath the pristine white snow, the village suddenly transformed into a fairy tale land. Today, Seddon has become a dream destination for travelers from all over the world. Even as tourist boats cut through the waves, gliding past on the canals. The village has retained its inherent simple beauty and ancient charm. In Seddon, you are more than just a visitor. Let yourself unwind slowly, releasing your soul with each gentle stroke of the oar upon the water. Listen to the whisper of nature. Seoul is not a city for those who live in a hurry. For souls seeking to set aside life's hustle and bustle and return to a place of peace. Let your heart drift gently along the peaceful stream, like a dream so beautiful that no one wants to wake up. Longyearbyen, the city where you can neither be born nor be laid to rest. The world is home to countless strange and mysterious lands, but few places are like Longyearbyen. The town is located at the northernmost point of Norway, where life begins and ends. This is absolutely not permitted within the town limits. Longyearbyen is located on the Svalbard archipelago, between the frigid icebergs at sea, where winter seems endless, taking up nearly the entire year, and the darkness could last for many months. Temperatures frequently drop below -30 degrees Celsius. The permafrost never thaws. This very layer of ice created a peculiar phenomenon. The bodies buried here do not decompose, no matter how much time passes. Scientists once discovered bodies that had been preserved intact for centuries. After decades, it remains nearly intact. This raises concerns about viruses, and bacteria can survive for long periods beneath the icy layers. Therefore, Longyearbyen established an extremely strict regulation. No one has the right to end their own life in this place. Terminally ill patients or individuals with life-threatening conditions. The patient will be urgently transferred to the mainland to continue receiving health care. The tombs date back to the early 20th century. They remain there as silent witnesses of a bygone era. However, new burials have been completely banned. Here, childbirth is no exception. Under conditions of inadequate medical care and harsh living environments, pregnant women in the days leading up to childbirth, you must leave Longyearbyen. Therefore, although the town had a school, supermarkets, restaurants, bars, and even libraries, on paper, no one was officially born or died in this place. However, Longyearbyen is not only known for that reputation. Due to special regulations, this place also boasts fascinating natural phenomena. Darkness enveloped the land as the sun vanished for months on end. And the midnight sun, when the sun shines all day and night during the summer. Here are a few ways to rewrite the sentence above to make it clearer and more natural, depending on the context. Under the light of the enchanting violet-blue auroras, like a soft silk strip draped across the sky, living in Longyearbyen requires extraordinary resilience. Beyond the biting cold that cuts through skin and flesh, Based on the common context of this phrase, here are some clearer and more natural expressions. From the frigid polar bears. Anyone leaving the central area must comply with legal regulations. Everyone must carry a gun for self-defense. Because danger can strike at any moment. After all, Longyearbyen is home of a resilient and tightly knit community. The biting cold cut right to the bone. Here are some ways to rewrite it to be more natural and clear, depending on the context. We find warmth in sharing, patience and faith in the future. Longyearbyen is a living testament to that, even in the harshest of circumstances. The warmth of human compassion and the yearning for a loving home. It can still bloom and shine with a shy, bashful radiance. Coma, the city of coachmen. Tucked away just outside bustling San Francisco lies a hidden gem. Compared to other peaceful small towns across America. But you just need to stroll around for a bit. You will quickly notice something unusual. This is not a city made for living. That is the city of departed souls. Coma currently has a population of about 1,500 people. Yet this is also the final resting place of over 1.5 million people of Dakwat. That is, for every living person. Here, nearly 1,000 souls rest in peace. That is not a story told in the manner of a translation. Could you please not stand in the middle of a small park? Gazing into the distance, one could only see graves stretching all the way to the horizon. A cemetery is not merely a place to bury the departed. They are the soul, the very breath of this entire town. This strange historical story began in the late 19th century, when San Francisco grew at an excessively rapid pace. And facing the issue of land scarcity, the city has issued a ban on any new burials within the inner city area. And hundreds of thousands of bodies were transported to the desolate, frozen land. The place that would later be known as Coma. Many graves were even relocated without a single tombstone left to mark their existence. Only preserved in the cold, impersonal pages of history. Overcoming the coma was a truly unique and extraordinary experience. Catholic cemetery, Jewish cemetery. The cemetery exclusively for the Chinese community. Martyr cemeteries, each bears its own distinct cultural imprint. California is like a mirror, faithfully reflecting the flow of immigration that has shaped this land over the centuries. Even legendary figures like VIP are no exception. The symbol of the Wild West also chose this place as its final resting ground. The atmosphere here always carries an unusually profound sense of tranquility. The moss-covered cobblestone paths wind and curve, meandering through the ancient forest of tombstones. Under the shade of the lush, ancient trees, the wind whistled through the crevices in the rocks, like whispers echoing back from some unfamiliar realm. Occasionally, you'll witness the scene of squirrels quietly following one another in a single file line. As a reminder that in Coma, life and death are separated by but a breath. Nevertheless, the people of Coma were not at all preoccupied with that. Because the friends I cherish are always by my side. They always take pride in the land they call home. Welcome to town. It's wonderful to live in Coma. Living in Coma is absolutely wonderful. A light, humorous story, reflecting a rare serenity in the face of the inevitable. Nowadays, alongside tranquil resorts, Coma also has shopping centers and restaurants. The shops and eateries here are as simple and familiar as those in any other town. But no matter how many modern elements are borrowed, every inch of this land is steeped in the stories of millions of human lives. History is quietly built from stories, and it is the very soul of the town. Coma is precisely where we come to realize the birth of a person is not the beginning, and their departure is not the end. It is but a peaceful part of the endless flow called life. Columbus, the most densely populated city in human history. There are lands in this world that stir in our hearts a single, rising question. How could people possibly live in that place, if such a place had truly existed? So this is the city of Columbqual, the strangest city that history has ever recorded. Imagine a plot of land only about 2.6 hectares in size. Smaller than a grain of sand. However, this place is home to a population of over 30,000 people. In a dense concrete network. A place where sunlight seemed to struggle to reach the ground. In a context where private space has almost ceased to exist. The houses are packed closely together, one after another. Stairs and hallways, and the rooftops stretched on and on, forming a vibrant labyrinth. A dense mass with no clear boundaries. no order. Kalumpqual was originally an ancient military fortress in China. However, after the historical vicissitudes, this place has become a lawless land. This is beyond the control of both Britain and China. For the better part of the 20th century, as Hong Kong's population grew at a staggering rate, Kalumpqual became a haven for thousands of the impoverished. The houses sprang up spontaneously, layer upon layer, piled high. The rooms were cramped, just big enough for a single bed. They broke through the walls, connecting one house to another. The entire city suddenly transformed into a colossal beehive. Not a single ray of light. Within Kalumpqual, life operates by its own rules. The alleyways were pitch dark, damp, and terribly cramped. It is a place where people travel, trade, and live their daily lives. Even food production facilities operating right next to each other. Under unsanitary conditions, some lower floors were abandoned due to mold infestation. Meanwhile, the upper floors were packed with people. In the past, there was a time when criminal forces manipulated and dominated this country, with underground gangs now controlling many illegal operations. But the strange thing is, no matter how much chaos unfolds, the people of Kalumpqual have always built a close-knit community with their own hands. They established their own order and resolved all conflicts and disputes themselves, and lived together by unspoken rules. Even in the suffocating darkness, a unique social structure gradually took shape, where people rely on each other to survive. When the authorities decided to demolish the Kolum building in the early 1990s, this is an immensely significant task. It took many years to relocate thousands of residents and dismantle that temporary concrete maze. Today, the area that was once Kolum has become a peaceful park, with its gravel paths and quiet, peaceful gardens. But in the memories of those who were once attached to that place, Kolum is more than just a place to rest your head. It is a separate world, wild and suffocating, but brimming with vitality. Kalumpquality will forever remain an exceptional